Quick show of hands, how many people have read at least one novel, Chetan Bhagat? Okay. Given that statistic, I don't think that I should be saying that, why should Chetan Bhagat be introduced? Everybody knows who Chetan Bhagat is, blah, blah, blah. But Chetan Bhagat actually does require an introduction because he's not an author anymore. He's a man who's gone ahead and endorsed mobile phones. He's a man who now even walks the ramp at the Lakme Fashion Week, if I'm not wrong. He's a man who hates, really hates. Tell him that he's a liberal, tell him that he's a fundamentalist, tell him that he's a Congressee, tell him that he's a BJP, and it really hurts him. But at the same time, the man himself has become a brand. Go to chetanbhagat.com, you'll see t-shirts that are being retailed also with nice, cute lines from his books also. So he is, of course, a brand. And he is, of course, a youth icon. Love him and, hate him. The people who hate him, I think there is a similarity between you and Salman Rushdie. People talk about English, his English, your English. There is a similarity. The similarity is that as many people apparently hate him also, as per Salman Rushdie also, but he continues to sell books by the truckloads. Books by the truckloads. So why is it that Chetan Bhagat is so controversial? And why is it that so many youngsters really look up to Chetan Bhagat? And why is it that when Chetan even writes a non-fiction book, which he told me he doesn't want to do really good also. He just wanted to experiment with non-fiction. When he wrote What Young India Wants, even that has become a bestseller. Ladies and gentlemen, hate him, love him, Chetan Bhagat.
सुबह सुबह कितने बजे उठे थे? Wow, I hate being the first speaker because it's like everybody's still sleepy, right? But who woke up at 7 o'clock? Yeah, on a holiday. My God, I see some really red hands here. I wonder why, huh? किसी की शादी हो रही है? होली खेलते हो ना बहुत? Just one second. So I love the band guy the most. So whenever I'm talking nonsense, please play the band. ठीक है? Because it covers up. It sounds like I've had a big impact. I think that's why it's there. I think it's a great idea. Last time also I said I need to have a guy like this with me all the time. Wherever I go, whenever I'm arguing with someone, like on a TV debate or something, the band should play when I finish. Right? Play now. See, now it feels like I said something really substantial, right? Like I'll just try this. I'll say, I had a cup of tea this morning. See? Now that cup of tea becomes bigger and, everybody. Anyway, thank you so much for having me. You guys did see Kai Poche, right? So thank you very much. It's not a film that was supposed to be made. I'll talk to you about that. They gave me in a way, very interesting topic. They just chose the topic, huh? They didn't ask me what I'm going to talk about. They just said, this is what you're talking about. You're talking about 3 mistakes and 3 successes of your life. Now, it's quite personal, no? Some of the mistakes. Bachpan mein ki gayi galtiyan. Have you seen on the signs? If you've gone on a train, you may have seen Bachpan mein ki gayi galtiyan. But I thought, now it's very easy to do this presentation in a way ki tell everybody, there are no mistakes in life, yaar. Huh? Sab kuch acha hai. There are no mistakes. Everything is great. And that's what people say, na? कोई गलती नहीं होती बेटे. Life में बस लगे रहो. Fail होके आ गए हो फिर भी कोई गलती नहीं होती. नौकरी लग नहीं रही कोई गलती नहीं होती. It's not like that. So I thought either I can handle it like that. Just talk about generalities on how there are no mistakes in life, and then just everything is success. But it's not true. You can screw up, you can mess up, and in a country like India, mistakes are not pardoned, simply because there are no second chances here, or very few people get a second chance, right? We have a place like the US where people take gap years. People finish school and they spend a year roaming around the world, then they join college. You want to try that here? Huh? What will happen? Or people finish college, travel the world for 1 year, 2 years, then apply for a job. What will happen here in the job interview? What will they say? Dimag kharab hai tumhara? College khasam karke ghoom rahe ho tum. But there they do it, right? I mean, it's considered cool to do it. Here you can't do things like that because these opportunities are so few. and the number of good people, like you guys are so many, that there is anybody who makes even one silly mistake. It really could be a few silly mistakes in an entrance exam can change your life. Yes or no? Yes? And how many have made those silly mistakes? Yeah, so it happens to everybody, and therefore it's very important to understand the context of mistakes. You guys are young, you will make more mistakes, because when you get older, you keep making mistakes, but you get to say, nahi, nahi, ab hum bade ho gaye, hum galtiyan nahi karte. Some mistakes you keep making all through your life. You know, Warren Buffett said this once. He said, emotionally we don't grow as human beings. We grow intellectually, we can grow by knowledge. So if I teach you how to do a certain thing, do a certain algebra problem, first few times you won't be able to do it, but after you learn it, you'll do it for the rest of your life, hopefully, right? But emotionally you don't grow. That's why people who get hurt in love once, they say, I am never getting hurt in love again. People say that, no? Guess what happens 1 year later? Same thing happens. क्या होगा? आपको किसने हर्ट कर दिया? कुछ है, ये अंदर से बात आई है ना? This was okay. We'll call her. Okay. My God, that was so unprompted, no? You are just talking, and he's like, "Yeah, hurt in love. I don't want to get hurt." Okay, yes. So you know, in some ways you don't grow, but some things you can check, some things you can't. So I thought I'll talk to you about mistakes, and that will be interesting from my own life. For that, you need to be little bit familiar with my work. I think most of you are, but still I'll do a very quick revision, if you don't mind. These are my books, 5 novels, because I'll be talking about these a little bit. So 5 novels and 1 book of columns that Akash said I didn't want to do well. Well, it was just that it was not a novel. We just wanted to make sure it's not seen as that. You know, people when they pick up a novel, they expect a story. That was just articles. So that's why I wanted to make sure. But luckily, people accepted that also. 3 movies so far based on these books only. 5 Points of One Night, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, and now 2 states, I mean, Kaipoche you saw, and now 2 states is getting made. It'll come, I think, by early next year, or maybe even end of this year, I don't know. And then maybe Revolution also, someone's going to make it. So, it's movies, books. I also write columns. Sorry, this is a competitor publication, but you know, it's okay. We're all one family. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. Apart from the really pretty girls, I think those you can take out. I don't want them to be my sisters, but the rest I can be. Right? Correct? Not. This was a preamble. No, this is the preamble. Yeah? Anybody knows the full preamble? Huh? They teach you all this, man. Nobody remembers this stuff. It's okay. It's okay. You can Google it. And then I write columns in Hindi as well, and couple of other regional publications. I basically, you know, like Akash said, it's I like to see myself also not just an author. I never had those, you know, visualization in my head that I'm an author and therefore I should. My job is to reach people, and I want to reach people through any way possible. So therefore, there's books, there's films, there's columns, there's talks like this one. But I also do it in corporates and colleges and various other places. Social networks. How many of you have liked my FB page or on Twitter? Yeah. You guys like the motivation? I know you have. You guys like the motivation quotes I gave there, or I shouldn't give those? Does it seem like kya bakwas kar raha hai? Huh? No, I should? Okay, I don't know. I'm thinking about that a little bit. And internet. The way I measure my success is how many Indians I've reached. It's estimated to be around 40-50 million now, which is a big number, 4-5 crore people. But it's not. I mean, we are also a very big country. We have 120 crore people. So by the time I reach 1 crore more people, we have created 1 crore more Indians. So it's a little race against, you know. I am trying to write as fast as we are reproducing. So, but the reproduction is going much better, I think, right now. And so, but it's a big number to influence public opinion in a way, in it, to have a certain voice. But it's obviously not big enough to really say that I've reached all of India and, you know, like everybody's reading Chetan Bhagat. No, it's not true. I wish, but a lot of Indians don't even know what it is like to read things. So forget about them reading Chetan Bhagat. That is why I did films. A lot of people ask me, why are you doing films? One is you get to work with some very good looking people. But apart from that, you get to reach India, right? I mean, it's like leapfrogging. One option is to write in Hindi, but the other option is to just leapfrog and get into a medium which reaches far more people. Even an illiterate person can enjoy movies. In fact, now my next movie is a very mass movie called Kick, which has Salman Khan in it. So actually they don't really need a writer because it has Salman Khan in it. People are going to go, but you know, they decided let's have one. It looks nice to have, you know, writer also. But the movie is going to be a blockbuster, not because I have anything to do with it, but mainly because Salman Khan is in it. So, you know. Now we come to this topic. I thought, and I'm not very good at thinking too much, but I thought how I can present, what is this? I can't really say there are no mistakes in life. There are some mistakes in life. There are some stupid things we do and we shouldn't have done them. And there are some mistakes which are not really mistakes. People think they are mistakes. You think it's a mistake, but actually it helps you a lot. So I thought I will do a very profound analysis and separate them into good mistakes and bad mistakes. Simple enough to understand, right? And good successes and bad successes. Okay? I thought it's important for every person to reflect on their life, and I'm thank in a way India Today for this opportunity because it made me reflect on what are some of my good mistakes and what are some of my bad mistakes. And then success also same thing, and then we'll do what can I learn from it and whatever. These are my good mistakes. You told me 3, so I put 3. There are many more, okay? So don't think this is a full list. I think there was a bad first book. The first book I wrote, which never got published. Actually, it was 5 point someone only, but it was so very badly written. It didn't. It was just not interesting. It was just dull, stupid, and I felt very bad when it was rejected. But in a way, I'm very happy I made that mistake because it was reasonably good also. No, if it was like it was really bad, like it was 1 out of 10, and if it was say 6 out of 10, and it had got published, it would have not done well or done okay, and it would not have been the phenomena 5 point someone came. 5 point someone became big because this bad first book gave me so many pointers on what you know really needs to happen. So I classify it as a good mistake. It was a mistake to write that book because I had not written a good book. I could have done better. But in some ways, you know, sometimes in life, it's nice not to have a soft option. If you have a soft option, you just accept it often, right? Let's say you want a particular job and you really want to work in that company. You don't get it the first time round. You have to wait, try again. But meanwhile, another company comes and gives you a job which is okay, which is not what you want, but it's not bad either. You'll often take it, and therefore you've taken the soft option and you've not waited for the hard option. Same thing happened to me actually in my MBA entrance as well. For some reason, I didn't get calls from anywhere else but IMA, and I got calls from 1 or 2 other places, and luckily I didn't get in there, because if I had gotten there and not in IMA, I wouldn't have tried again to get in. You know, it's like one of those things. Sometimes it's okay in life to get slapped early on. I'm so happy this book was bad, because if it had come out, or if a slightly better book had come out, I would not be noticed at all. So that's that. Second is the movie Hello. How many of you saw Hello? How many of you liked it? Okay, I know. We are looking for 4 people in India who have liked it. If you really have, then, you know, and I know some of you are just raising your hand because he's the speaker, man. How can we like? I said, no, we didn't like it. But the most of you put it down. We didn't like it. It's okay. So it didn't do well, and nobody even talks about that movie when they introduce me. They say Three Idiots, they say Kai Poche, because obviously people talk about successes more. But to me, Hello means a lot more than these films. In Hello, I just took it too casually. I was still working in the bank, and I was doing my third book, and I really thought I could pull it off. I could keep working in the bank, I could keep writing books, and I could also help out in movies while I'm working in Hong Kong. And I thought it's possible. And it wasn't. It wasn't because I was not there while Hello was being, the screenplay was being finalized, while the planning was being made, the approach to the film was being made. And somewhere down the line there was confusion. The film on one hand was a call center film which needs to be very modern and realistic in its approach. On the other hand, we thought, chalo bhai, सलमान का स्पेशल अपीयरेंस मिल रहा है तो सलमान का एक गाना डाल ही देते हैं, वो बैंग बैंग, remember? So it became confusing and it didn't work. I mean, it was made at a very low price, so it luckily recovered money, and it was all in Salman's family, so it's all happy news for them. But it wasn't what it could have been. It could have been a really powerful film, but I wasn't. And in some ways, I don't make movies. People make movies from my stories, but I know that I wasn't on it as much as I should have. And somewhere down the line, maybe it made a difference. I also realized filmmaking, even though it's fun to watch films, it's not all fun to make them. It's a lot of work in making a movie happen. Just to get a project off the ground is so much work. It's just something I needed to do. And the biggest thing Hello did for me, it made me leave the bank. I was not willing to leave my job. I was thinking about it. Every day I used to think about it. But Hello's failure in some ways made me decide that, listen, if I don't give attention to this, I can't take it for granted. Today the films are suffering, tomorrow the books may suffer. So I finally quit. So it was a great mistake I did. Hello is a mistake in the eyes of the world, but to me it is a very good mistake I've done. Next comes Kai Poche. Kai Poche is a very oddball kind of Bollywood film in a way. It has no known actors. It doesn't even have any star kids. Normally, I like to have that classification. It's different approach Indians have when you have a star kid being launched. It's just different. We are a little bit, dynasty lovers ourselves, as we have seen again and again in the people who rule us. We like, people, uske daddy bhi the, uske dada bhi the. We like that. It's going less now, but there is still that appeal. So it's different when a big star son or daughter is being launched from the audience point of view. It's also different because the resources the industry puts behind it is very different. But Kai Poche had none. It's not like, I can come around and say, no, the film needed newcomers. It's nonsense. We wanted stars. Nobody came. Nobody. I remember, I can't even take those names. You will be like, Chetan, you went to these people. And yes, I did. I mean, not me, just Abhishek, and sometimes I also used to go. And they all just said, no, yeah, 3 boys, what is this? And it's not even in Dil Chahta Hai, they are in Mercedes convertible, in Zindagi Milegi, they go to Spain. What is this silly Ahmedabad, not like middle class, nothing to do. And it's not, we don't want to do it. And then the big stars say, I only want to do solo hero films. And it's an odd movie in the sense that the main actor, the main star, if you can say Sushant, he doesn't have a love track. His sister is there, and and the sister is, that's not exactly a love track, that's a lust track, right? And so it's not, but that's the story, and it's just nobody took it. And the earlier producers, they really felt we shouldn't make this. I mean, it happens in movies all the time. They start developing a project, it doesn't work out, and it was dropped. Then the producer changed, and I'm telling you, at many times when they said, okay, we'll make it with newcomers, I know this is the least commercial of my stories, because it's not like 2 states is easy. It's going to do well, 2 states. But this one is tricky because it had Godhra riots, it had a lot of earthquake, and I wasn't sure that, I don't have a commercial story, now I don't have commercial actors. And then the director was getting extra creative. He's a brilliant director, you've seen the movie. He said, let's call it Kai Poche. which is all fine in Gujarat, but in Calcutta people are like, what the hell does this mean, right? What does Kai Po Che mean? And it is very difficult to market a film. And even if you guys are willing to learn the trade, the Bollywood trade, which is composed of very old school distributors, if they can't say the name of a movie and it has new TV actor movie, they're not even going to touch it, right? So these kind of things, in that way, I was like, I had sleepless nights. I thought, listen, this is not good. I don't know what's going to happen, and it's going to go unnoticed, and I was very scared. But in some ways, it was the best mistake, because Kai Po Che just, it did really, really well at the box office. I haven't seen one bad review of the film, which is very unusual for me, because I never get good reviews. And which is like, I was surprised, it's like, ये हमारी कहानी की बात कर रहे हैं, क्या हुआ? Was this a joke? Is it a parody review? What is it? But then all the reviews started coming positive. And that was a good mistake. And that, I'll tell you why I think that classifies as a good mistake later. Basically, these are the reasons why they are good mistakes. Made me rewrite the first book, Hello Taught Me About Films. And Kai Po Che was a huge risk. When you take a risk, that's not a mistake, and that's the confusion people have in India. People feel if someone's taken a risk and it has not worked, that's a mistake. It's not. We only judge mistakes on whether those things, efforts were successful or not. But it's not a mistake if it was a risk and that didn't pay off. But luckily it paid off, so it became a good mistake. My bad mistakes, these are the genuine bad mistakes. Like I said, I rarely admit to these, but I thought about it and I think these are some of the bad mistakes. Chasing money. At the end of the day, I come from a very middle class background, and money means a lot to me. How many of you here money means a lot to them? Be honest, come on, right? Mind rocks and all. Okay, front row people, they are so rich, their money doesn't mean anything to them. So, it's always the back rows, the further the rows, the bigger the hand. But it's important, and it's somewhere down the line you start judging yourself and you say, I must make money. And it happens all the time, and I did it for a short period of time. And it was a very bad mistake. I don't do it anymore. In fact, recently there have been stories about some writer getting some advance. They've sold books in advance. They've sold 3-4 books. They have not written. They've sold those 3 books in the future. They've agreed on a certain price, and they're saying, look, this is the big number we got. If I start doing that, my number will be like multiple times of that. But a lot of queries came. How much money are you making? What are you making? India Today itself is bringing out a power list, I think, and she called me and she's like, what's your money? How much money you have and all that? I said, I can't tell you that. Okay, and they said, no, but then we'll guess. So please, it will come in India Today, please see their guess. And even Forbes and many, and you start feeling like when people ask you, you feel it is an important parameter. Now, if you're a businessman, if you're a pure, corporate who is answerable to shareholders, maybe you should chase money. If I buy shares of a company, I want the owner of that company to chase money and make me rich. But if I don't have to do that so much, and somewhere down the line, I think there was a phase when I did that. I think when I left my job, I became very insecure. I had a huge drop in income, 90-95%. And I thought, let me figure out how to make money. It's wrong. That's not what I'm meant to do. That is not what, it should be about. Money comes. And it is a lot of money coming now. But that should not be the focus. That should not be something that I talk about, that I advertise, and as a means to show that I've done something good. So that is a, mistake. Ignoring health. I started giving talks as a speaker that brought a lot of travel. And when you're young, like you guys, you can really take your health for granted. You can sleep 3 hours, you can drink every night, and you'll still be okay, And I've done things which I shouldn't have done. But after you touch 30, it's just suddenly, I don't know what happens, you need that 30 plus pill or something. I don't take it, but I'm just saying, I started looking like, you have to Google my photos, I'm embarrassed to look at them, but you see how I was looking. You go to images, Chetan Bhagat fat, and you will see it. You will see some pictures. Yes. So I ignored it, and why? Because I was on the speaker circuit, I was giving talks, I was traveling, I was feeling very I thought this is work, this is what I'm meant to do, I'm out there, but it was a bad mistake. It's not something I should do. And the third is, it's still become a lot better, but it's still sometimes, criticism or even praise, which means expectations for the next book. If the next book is coming, I know so many people are going to read it, it gets to me. And therefore I can't function, I can't write. Same way criticism will get to you. There are people talk all kinds of things. He told me I have some haters also. Hopefully not in this room. Otherwise, if you're a hater, you should be not here. I'm guessing watching Himmatwala or something. It's come out, no, today. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, I thank you that you chose to come here instead of watching big films that are out. And that is a bad mistake, and that's also coming from things. So why these are bad mistakes? Because chasing money alone can misdirect you. It's very simple. I was in a firm called Goldman Sachs, and they told people, they said, we are greedy, but we're long-term greedy. You can chase money, but don't chase money for the next 6 months. Don't chase money for 1 year. Yeah, it's a long-term game. And if you chase money, which is short-term money, it will misdirect you, and you will end up with actually less money. It's as simple and a very practical level. It's not a very great way to live your life to go chase the money. It's not, shouldn't be. That's a wrong chase. Ignoring health because you are human. I may be read a lot, whatever, but I personally am one human being, one body. I cannot compromise myself so much. And when criticism or expectations gets to you, it's coming out of fear. There's somewhere down the line, there's some insecurity. There is some fear of being judged, of not being liked, not being accepted, and that is not good. That you let that control you to the point that you're not able to write, not able to do work. Let's get to successes. These are some of my good successes, I think my work has been accepted across multiple platforms. That's a huge deal for me. Most authors are authors. They stick to books, and whenever they've tried to venture out, it doesn't work so well. For me, I have ventured out, and some now say the other stuff is better than the books. So it's a good, in a way, compliment only. But I mean, everything has its takers. So it's now, like I said, that bubble you saw, it's books, films, columns, talks, or any other way I can reach people. I do it. My goal in life is what's written, to make a positive difference to maximum number of Indians. It's a little MBA jargonistic, but some of you are MBA students here. But it's basically either, if nothing else, to entertain people. I mean, that itself is some positive difference. But ideally, to shape. Now today, you are not listening to me tell you a story. I am not telling you a love track. I am not showing you a movie. I am giving you, maybe you can call it advice or something like that, and you are listening. Why are you listening? Because you have enjoyed my stories. You enjoyed the movies, and that's why you are here. So I first have to entertain you, to get your attention, and then I can give you this gyan also, which I am giving right now. And that is, if I can multiply that to a big part of the country, I would consider myself successful. But it is not to just do successful books or hit films anymore. I've done it too many times, sorry to say, but I've done it quite a bit. Three Idiots is still the highest movie. So that's not it. The next level, that once people are listening, what are you doing for them? And for that I need multiple platforms. I need that Facebook page, because you are getting to that Facebook page every day. No point me writing just books. I have to get there, and that way we can be in touch. I think the biggest good success is turning my passion into reality. There is this passion to reach people, to change things by thoughts, and it's become a reality. For me, that is a very big success. Very, very few people in this world get to do that. And I've been able to do it and survive, and that's good. And I think largely I've not lost my head. There wasn't much of a head to begin with, but I think I'm still okay compared to the people I see around me, especially in Bollywood. People lose track of reality. They forget who they are, where they come from. They are just lost in that new glamour world, and it's almost like they've forgotten, where their roots were, what they were all about when they started. And that has still not happened. Maybe one day it will happen. Maybe I need 2-3 more hits, and then I'll totally lose it. But so far it's okay, Why is it a good success? I told you, because it takes me beyond an author, and it's, turning passion to reality is true happiness. It is a very big factor that makes people happy. That whole message of Three Idiots, follow your heart, it is to make you happy really. If you are not, somewhere down the line you have had to kill your dreams, kill your passion, some happiness will go away from your life. And it has created so much happiness for me. And like I said, if you are lost in your head, once the arrogance starts, the growth stops. Anybody who's become arrogant, I've seen in their field, they stop growing. And that is typically how the downfall begins also. Somewhere down the line people became arrogant, whether in behavior or in their mind they were. And I think that's where it ends. My bad successes, before I just get into the lessons, these are my bad successes. These are supposedly successes, but they are very deceptive, and that is why I call them bad successes. Like I said, like there were good mistakes, there are bad successes also. Bollywood's allure, it is, I am human, I am Indian. Most Indians love movies, right? And the whole industry is designed to seduce you, right? The industry tries to tell you there is nothing better than this. This is what you pay money to see these people come on screen. So once you're part of it, it is very seductive. It is very seductive when a star calls you and says, come hang out with me, party with me, when big directors call you, come work with us, write a story for us. And then, you are in these parties and media is asking you for bites and you're giving whole shebang to the world. Yeah, I really think my performance and this and this. It's just over the top nonsense. Okay, it is the nature of the industry, but you get seduced by it. I have seen people destroy their lives in Bollywood, whether they were successful or not. Successful people have also had some miserable lives there. It is very addictive, and for a while I really thought, okay, Bollywood is going to be the focus. It has to be. When I'm working on a movie, it has to be. I don't want another Hello to happen. So Kaipoche, and especially when it had no known faces, I went behind it. Like anybody who's followed me on Twitter knows how much Kaipoche they heard from me. So, and now, but I have to step back. That is not my goal. My goal is not to be part of the movie business, be the top power list of movies, nothing like that. My aim is to reach Indians, and Bollywood is just a tool. For me, I have my thoughts, I have certain views on how the country needs to be changed, and I will tell it through books, newspapers and films. It's just one of those things. I don't have to get carried away because this, I went to this party and everybody was beautiful and nice and they were so talking to me. They're only talking to me because I can deliver hit films. Tomorrow I don't deliver hit films, sorry, please leave. It's like a very brutal place, and that allure is in some ways is a threat to me because it's very difficult to get out of it. Money is attraction, like I said, money has come to me after, when I left banking, I thought I will not make as much money ever because I'm writing now, I'm writing books, and in banking I was in a very lucrative department, made a lot of money, but it has now increased. Today what I make is more than what I ever did in banking. So it's again coming back, and one of the reasons I got disillusioned with the banking career was all the bankers, all my batchmates, everybody obsessed about money all the time. Whether they're talking money, whether they're talking apartment purchases, which car to buy, which clothes to buy, it was just too much. And there is something about money which really destroys your soul, beyond a point. If you have no money, it destroys your soul also, because poverty will destroy your soul. But too much money also destroys your soul. And it really makes you not such a good human being, because you just get lost. And our society is facing that risk a lot. We have not seen money. India is a poor country and still largely is a poor country. But a lot of people have seen money come in. And we are becoming a society that only worships money and only worships people who have money. How they got the money, what they are doing with it, what they have destroyed in that process, we don't seem to care. And I don't want you to be those people. A teacher who really teaches the kids well, or a cop who does the duties well, is also a very successful person. Just because some builder somewhere is making more money doesn't mean he's a better person, or that is what you should be. If that is what you want to be, that's different. But to think that this person is higher and this person is lower, then many professions will cease to exist. Journalism is one profession where people don't get paid a lot. I think the India Today people will agree. Actually, they all get paid a lot, but I mean, some of the other journalists don't. But it's not only about money. You have to earn money. Please don't go back thinking that I said don't make money. But don't get so lured by it that yehi hai bas. You know, it's like food, you know. You have to eat food, right? You have to eat good food. You can be a foodie also, it's fine. But if you only wake up in the morning and say breakfast this, lunch this, dinner this, which is what a lot of people in Delhi do, but that's not Calcutta, right? That's not what you have to do. So, actually, not all Delhi, Punjabis do that a lot, and Delhi is Punjab only, so in some ways. So I know people who live, but that's what, it shouldn't become that, right? An illusion of having arrived. A lot of people say, "Arey yaar, you have arrived, you've got this podium, you're talking as if something has happened." You know, I have not arrived. There is a long way to go. I have not reached rural India at all. 70% of India is in the villages, and I am claiming to be this Indian writer. It's like, you know, some fashion week calling itself Indian Fashion Week, right? And only like South Delhi and South Bombay are going. Now that's, for branding purposes, they call it Indian Fashion Week, but it should be actually called Kolaba and Bandra Fashion Week. And, you know, because those are the only people who can afford and buy those clothes. But it's not, so I can also, I call myself true Indian writer. Yeah, I'm Indian by nationality, but to reach more India, a lot of way to go. And it's a stupid illusion to feel. Yes, a lot of people think that, but it's a bad success if you start thinking that ever, because it will just slow you down. You know, just let me get to the lessons very quickly. I know maybe the time I am not able to keep track, but good mistakes. You know, how did this classification come, right? Those mistakes that you can learn from are good mistakes. And some mistakes will happen as part of innovation. Whenever you do something innovative, you will make mistakes. You try a business, whether you try a book, whether you write a movie, or whatever, anything new, creative, any entrepreneurial venture, you will make mistakes. It's part of it. You cannot be innovative otherwise. So those are good mistakes, because you are putting an effort and it didn't work as you thought it will work, and that's okay. But bad mistakes are mistakes that come from human weaknesses. There are mistakes that come, and you know, in Christianity they are the 7 deadly sins. But things like greed, laziness, fear, envy, insecurity, all this is part of human psyche. We all feel this. It's a very ugly side to humanity, right? We are nice people, but when things get bad, we can get angry, we can get violent. It's the same human beings do things which you cannot even imagine right now, right? So those are bad mistakes, and those things require self-discipline to fight. So ask yourself, did this mistake happen because I was taking a risk and it didn't work out, or I learned something from it, so in a way it's okay? Or is it something because it happened because I was lazy and I was just, you know, greedy for something, whereas I didn't wait, you know, or I did a shortcut where I shouldn't have done a shortcut? Those are bad mistakes, you know. And good success is what is truly meaningful to you. You decide that. Others will not decide, you know. And it's about surpassing yourself. What you thought, so आपकी औकात है, अपनी औकात से ज़्यादा आप कर लो. So for me, I would define success as that. And ideally, you should have positive impact on others. It doesn't mean that you have to do charity, run an NGO, or even be an author or things like that. Even if you're in office and you are nice to people, I mean, there is a positive impact there. Even if you're doing their job better than anybody else, that's positive impact. If you're helping your organization reach excellence, that's a positive impact. But these are good successes. And bad success is what goes to your head, and something, you know, which is only defined by external materialism, which is money or fame or things like that. If you only say that's not, it doesn't mean they are not important, but that cannot be the sole criteria. That is, then I'm doing so much business, or I'm doing this. That's not what it should be about. That's all I wanted to say. And you know, thank you so much. Yeah, you really thought I've done a mistake, huh? I just wanted to see if I would be allowed a mistake. But thank you so much. We have time for some questions? A few questions? Yeah, okay. Are you here? Yeah.
Okay, before we start the question answer round, just a quick rule. Nobody's to mob Chetan when he walks off stage in this hall. You can mob him outside. Huh? That's absolutely okay. And short questions. If you have a very interesting question, you can really wave a hand like this. If you have a normal question, then you can just raise it like this. Okay, so we'll start with that. But before that, Chetan, one fact that you mentioned wrong in your speech. Misguiding the audience here. There was a star kid in the movie.
Who?
Your kid. Where is he?
Yes.
Where is he? Ishan?
Ishan?
Say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
How was it like having your son in the movie?
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's called the Star Kid, but it was a cameo which was not advertised at all. In fact, we didn't want to reveal it because it was such a realistic film, you know, to announce before or things like that. Do you remember him from Kai Poche? For those, Ishan, can you stand up again, please? And you can see him on screen now. Can the screen go to him? Yeah, remember that little kid in the end who gives the flag? Govind's son in the end. So it was just a short, and you know, it came about because the director and I, we were just talking about cameos and how I could do a cameo. Okay. And I was supposed to be one of the guys at Kendriya Vidyalaya who checks, who approves their sports budget or whatever. But then, you know, again, that thing came that the film was being made so realistic that it would look like a gimmick. But he needed an 8-year-old boy. And I said, I have an 8-year-old boy. I have two actually. I have twins. Sham is also there. And his name is Ishan. And the name of the boy, Ishan, in 3 Mistakes of My Life came because of my son's name. Which then when it became a movie, Sushant's name became Ishan because of this little Ishan. And in the movie, again, there was a new son born. And that was again this Ishan. So I just felt it would be a really nice closure to that. And it was amazing to go on the sets and be the father. And not just go as a writer. Because then I really was about, you know, juice hai aapke paas? Baba ko juice pilao. And things like that. And I could really see myself becoming all protective and things like that. That scene was shot at 3 in the night. Because it just takes a long time. It was D.Y. Patil Stadium. It was a stadium scene. And he's such a perfectionist director. There are 5 camera angles in that scene. So he has to do that 5 times, and there were 7 takes each time. So 35 times he had to lift the flag and say, "Ye Omi Mama hai." The flag is the flag. So it's quite something. Yeah.
Okay, you talked a lot about good mistakes, bad mistakes. What I would like to know from you is that are you still making mistakes? And would you be comfortable in admitting to those mistakes? Because somewhere down the line, the training that we have is that it's not good to comment on mistakes. Today you're very comfortable because all is well for you. Yeah. And you can look back at those mistakes. Yeah. Would you admit to a mistake, or would you tell kids here to admit to a mistake when they are down in the dumps with the mistake?
Yeah, I think so. I agree that it's easier for me because it's all part of the story now. But, you know, keeping... firstly, learn the classification between good mistake and bad mistake. I think it's always better to admit. Because you keep it in your head, keep it in your heart, it will kill you from inside. It will start destroying you from inside. It's better to come to terms with it and say, you know what, I screwed up. These were just, you know, big examples. Because all you guys don't know me personally. So I can't give you small examples of things that happen. For example, any script we write, there are times when I screw up on a scene and then people say, what have you done? And then I have to say, you know what, I messed up, I'm sorry. And it's better. Even Steve Jobs said this, that whenever you're doing something new, you will make mistakes. The faster you admit to it, the faster you can move on. But it's not considered okay to admit to mistakes. Somewhere down the line, in Indian culture, I have not seen, for example, politicians, they never admit to mistakes. And apparently it's supposed to project a very strong leader. That, you know, anybody who admits to mistakes is a stronger guy. He stands by his actions, he stands by his convictions. But I think that's a little outdated because today, given we have all this social networking, all these public forums available for people to talk, you can't hide mistakes. You can't just present a strong facade and hide mistakes. So that is very important to admit it quickly. The sooner you admit it, it will not go viral on the internet, for example. So therefore, same in if you're not going viral on the internet, in your family, in your friend circle, if you screwed up, in an exam or something, the sooner you admit it, people will stop gossiping about it. And I think it's better to admit there is no human being. It's in our human nature, to make mistakes. Human beings are still evolving, no? It takes millions of years for a species to come. So we are still in the middle, and we make a lot of judgment errors. Doctors make mistakes. Patients die because of it. So who are we? I mean, people make mistakes all the time, so admit it. It's better.
You talked about Bollywood, the seduction of Bollywood. I know your wife is sitting here, but what is this seduction? थोड़ा सा detail में बताइए.
Well, I mean seduction of career seduction, not literally seduction by a. That doesn't happen to me because I am not making movies and I'm not casting for movies, and so anybody who comes to me says, "आपकी picture में casting कौन कर रहा है?" So I say, "वो तो director कर रहा है." So then they just say, "Okay, give me the director's number. That's fine." So I am shielded from all that. But I think the seduction really is about. There's an idealization presented to people when they see Bollywood. These are people who speak scripted lines, right? Those lines that you hear on screen are written, edited 20 times. They're delivering the punchlines. They're very good looking. They are rich. They dress in the best clothes. So you start seeing such people and you start thinking, this is what I should become. It's natural. You think that is cool, that is. And it's very hard to escape that and say, you know what? No, it's just a illusion. It's just they're all doing a job, which is to look good. Because I'll tell you, for example, a six-pack. Have you ever had a six-pack?
No, no.
Come on now.
One pack.
One pack. Done. We all have actually just well hidden.
You are working out these days.
Yeah. So for example, I'll tell you, a six-pack. I know some people who've had six-packs, and it looks great, and articles written on them. But it is a full-time job to have a six-pack. It is a full-time job, 4 hours in the gym. You cannot eat a proper meal. Like you have to eat non-carbs. Many of them take pills which are bad for you. They may not be banned, but they are just really bad for you. There are pills people take which increase your pulse rate. So you are sitting and your heart is going dub, 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 dub. And he's like, I asked, what will happen? And I think that, no, just your hands will shiver a little bit all day. But, it's okay, it's worth it. And I am telling you, it's so, and then I realized, and then before a photo shoot, any big photo shoot you see in a film magazine, 3 days they don't have salt. 1 or 2 days they don't have water to look that lean. And the moment the photo shoot is over, they are like, let me get my burger or something. They're so hungry. It's not real. And we see it, and we think we want to be, and I think the pressure on girls is, for example, even more. They see these girls in beauty magazines and they feel, oh my God, I don't look like this. I'm ugly. You're not ugly. You are just real. And these people are just faking it. And that's not written there, right? That this girl didn't eat for 3 days and she's feeling so hungry inside as she smiles in this designer's dress. They don't say that. So it's that seduction it takes a while to think of those things. And I would also like you to enjoy Bollywood, but don't get so seduced by it that thinks that, oh my God, this is the perfect life. It's not. It's just a very artificial act. It's an act.
Okay, I'll ask you about the rest of the seduction later on.
Yes.
Quick questions for Chetan before we move on to a rapid fire round. Go ahead. Can we have a mic, please?
I am Krishna Thakur from the Institute of Engineering and Management. Sometimes mistakes causes failure, which causes humiliation. If you feel humiliation, you does another mistakes. Sometimes it continues. Have you ever faced humiliation? And if you faced humiliation, how did you overcome it?
Yeah, I face humiliation all the time. But I'll give you an example. When I was in Goldman Sachs, and I didn't get promoted once. And I was with all I was only Indian in the group, but all my peers, they all, so 6 of us, 5 got promotion, and 1 guy doesn't get promoted. And it's me, right? And it's so public. I mean, you work with those people every day, and all of a sudden they are senior, and you are the only guy who didn't get it. Somewhere down the line, my boss didn't like me. I didn't like him much either. But that's besides the point. I didn't get promoted, and it was devastating for me. And it had never happened to me. You know, like I had gone to good colleges, and I knew I was smarter than these people, but somewhere down the line, it didn't happen. And I felt very humiliated, and it was hard to even survive in office. And I had the option, either I could become a total drunk alcoholic and drink every night and decide on how, and there was a recession at that time, I couldn't get another job. And that is why I started writing a book. Because I thought ki at least distract myself in some other way, and I will take my revenge on this man. In the office only I'll write. So that was my silent revenge. How many, you're all students, no? Or some of you are working? How many are working? Yes, some of you. Okay. So LBD, and you know, na? Look busy, do nothing. That's what I did to react to it. You know, failure will hurt you. I cannot teach you here not to get hurt by failure. It hurts everybody. You can cry. You can go to your friends, say, I need a hug. Nobody loves me. You can go eat ice cream. Do whatever the hell coping mechanism you have. It will hurt you a lot. No matter what stage of life you're at. The biggest star feels bad when their movies flop. So it's not something that is going to go away. But failure should not make you quit. You know, that much strength you shouldn't give failure. That I'm going to give up. Lot of young people quit because they get failure, they get uncomfortable with those feelings of humiliation, and you know, it's that. I mean, I'll give you an example. We did a session with Baba Ramdev, with him only, provoking, and I have nothing against Baba, really, but I did want him to answer a few tough questions about the country, and that video was uploaded on YouTube, and I was baffled. Of course, they're all Baba supporters who claim to be very spiritual people, but are giving curses which are beyond spiritual. Almost they are creating relationships which I don't even know can be created. But and I will not go into that. And it was such a reaction, and I was coming from a good place, you know. I was not. And funnily enough, after the session, Baba called me. It was a conclave last year, and Baba called me. I picked up the phone. I didn't have his number. So I said, who is this? He says, it's Baba Ramdev. I said, Baba calls? I mean, and, I have Baba's number on my phone because of the conclave. And Baba said, come and we want to talk. And I like some of the points you made, and come to Haridwar and give me advice and all that. I didn't go. But on YouTube, on those comments are extremely negative because the Baba supporters, I'm confronting him. You can call it a mistake, you can call it like I'm getting cursed there, but what I did was that now it means I'm never going to go to these events and they always misinterpret me. No, it's okay. I did my best, and maybe my intention was not to hurt Baba lovers, but they got hurt. And you know, I apologize to them if they felt hurt, but the questions I asked were very simple. I was not making any personal attacks. I never do. So but it was something that I had to suffer for, like I mean, a lot of humiliation on that side, but it's okay. So it happens, you know, but it did not make me quit, you know. And ask them how much criticism they used to get as journalists and things like that. They get it every day. I haven't seen one journalist on Twitter who's not trolled. I think if Mahatma Gandhi was on Twitter, he would be trolled. This is the world we live in today. You put Swami Vivekananda on Twitter, he would be trolled. Today these are great, but if they were to express the same views, they would be trolled. If Swami Vivekananda wore that dress and came on Twitter, what he does, people would troll him that you're a saffron guy, this, that, etc.
True.
It's such is the level of cynicism. So, but you don't quit, you know. You just keep going.
You can actually access that video. If you have some time over the weekend.
Yeah, I know, they don't. But
you'll have a great weekend. Huh? Just type Baba Ramdev and Chetan Bhagat. You'll get a great video.
Can you remove those comments? Those comments.
Okay, one more question before. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
This is Shagufta Yasmin.
Okay, we'll take two. We'll take his.
We'll take two, of course. Go ahead.
This is Shagufta Yasmin from C.V. Raman College of Engineering, Bhubaneswar. So, very recently there was a post on your Facebook page that 5 things women should change about themselves.
Yeah.
My question is, as an Indian, who do you think should change first, men or women?
Men only. If you read the whole article, of course men. And if you note that the thing you are referring to, what is written in below, for full column, read this site. So there is a full column which talks really about the things men should change. It talks about, I did that column on Women's Day, and men should respect women better, men should see them as equals, men should just behave themselves, not make a woman feel uncomfortable, not have prejudices against their performance at work. Or there's a whole list in the first half of the article. However, I said, however, it is not that some things even women need to change. For example, one of the points there is they should assert for their property rights. A lot of women emotionally, they just give up their rights in India. And I'm not talking of the uber empowered women in certain sections. I'm talking pan-India. So that's one change I'm asking them to do. So just because someone says change this doesn't mean men are perfect or men don't need to change. But men are very stubborn, their egos are very fragile, they don't listen, right? If I write 5 things men should change, nobody's going to get up and say, I read this. They'll be like, no, we are perfect. But you at least rose and asked, so thank you. But yes, the full article does talk of both genders. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I would like to ask you, I haven't read books before, but I started with your book only. So people say that Chetan Bhagat has a different followers and other writers have different followers. So how do you actually feel among the writers as yourself? Because some people say if he is reading Chetan Bhagat book, he is a very novice book reader, or he is a very beginner. So I just want to know, is it true, or is it just people want to say something so they are coming out with it?
Yeah, no, I do. A lot more people read me than others. So it's a lot of people read my books and don't read other books. But to say that those are the only people, that's not correct. I mean, it's like most people who read books also read my books, and many people who don't read books read my books. Especially since I've started writing columns, I've had a new readership, which is very intellectual actually. I do write in a simple language, so they are suited for beginners also. But to say that they are only for beginners is not correct. I think a lot of times we want to just read something easy, and I do write easy reads. So that is correct. I mean, that's a factual statement. And that's just the way it is. Now, what is better, a difficult read is better than an easy read, that is a judgment call which I don't think it's fair for people to make. So that's what I feel.
Okay, Padmaja, there are people behind you also. Let me give them a chance, okay?
Just want to tell something. I was just discussing this with my wife yesterday. We were talking about women, and it's something which I've become very interested in, especially since the cases in Delhi and all the women's rights. And it is a very hypocritical society, and I feel it must be quite difficult to be a woman. I used to think I wanted to be a woman because they're so good if they're good looking, they get so much attention. I thought it's so great for them, but actually it's not. I was discussing with my wife, for example, advertising. All the unmarried women are shown as career women, right? They're making presentations, putting deodorant, and they are just putting powder and just putting shampoo and going and winning the boardroom battle. It's very common to see such ads. Now, the moment they have children, they don't show one ad where there is a working woman with children, right? They are only showing women. I just saw an ad yesterday. Tang mein juice hai, and all these women are just so excited. And that's all. All these women are waiting in the park for the kids to finish playing whatever they're playing. And then there's this one woman says, I let them have tang every day because tang mein juice hai. It's dried juice. It doesn't mean anything, but it's fine. That's what they talk about. Now, I want to know at what point do we expect the women to delete that PowerPoint presentation? And just because I agree that both are good roles for women, to be a homemaker and to be working. But this kind of thing, that a woman with kids cannot be shown as a working woman, successful and happy, and it actually bothers me. Maybe that's a Women's Day. You have a women's conference also, no? We can take this up there. But I was just wanted to mention to you that there is a lot of changes we need, It's not just about scolding men. It's so deep-rooted, the biases we have, and we don't realize it. I mean, men, and when my wife told me and I saw those ads, I'm like, you know what? It's right. They never show a working woman in a kids products ad. As if it's like not right, you know. I remember I did a study for Kellogg's a few years back, and long back in my MBA days we did a project, we met Kellogg's also, and the Kellogg's cornflakes were not selling because they were marketing it as quick breakfast. And women don't want to show that they are making quick breakfast and they're lazy. You know, parathe nahi bana rahi baith ke. So they had to say, no, this is good for health. Yes. And this has nutrients. So that is why she's giving it. Not because it's just put it in a bowl and have it. So it's anyway, sorry.
Two quick questions. One last question.
Sir, one thing I want to ask. What is the difference between Indian success and Western foreign success? Can you please tell me?
Indian success and?
Foreign success, apart from Indian success.
क्या फर्क है?
Yes, what's the difference?
जब ताली बजती है तो ब्राउन हाथ बजा रहा हो या व्हाइट हाथ बजा रहा हो, आवाज तो सेम ही आती है. So I don't. My goal is to. I told you, my goal is to reach as many Indians so I can change them. I have been approached. I'm not going to say this in some big offers or anything, but many of these agencies who work with writers abroad, like they are saying, Chetan, would you like to do something in Hollywood? Would you like to collaborate in some projects? It's very exciting. I don't want to do it. It's not what it's that again the lure, which is not correct. It's not my goal. What will I do? I can maybe make Americans laugh. I've worked in American companies, but it's not what I want to do. You know, it's so I don't think Indian foreign matters to me. But I agree with you that if it's foreign approved, thoda better लगता है यहाँ पे हमें अच्छा लगता है.
Okay, I'm just trying to.
You wanted to, yeah.
I'm just running out of time.
Yeah, I
just
know.
quickly trying to put you in a box, as we say here. No long explanations, no diplomatic answers. It has to be 4 or 5 words maximum.
Okay.
We want to know where you stand on some issues.
Okay.
Politics.
Just, good politics. I mean, what can I say? Good politics.
Chetan in politics.
Chetan
in politics.
Chetan in politics. What do you think? Yes or no? No. Okay, yes, raise your hands, yes. And no, raise your hands. So, they are saying don't go.
If that changes, you
and
change?
that is Kolkata, where it's so politically, charged up place. But if you go to Mumbai, they'll be like, what is politics? In Mumbai, they'll be like, what is politics? Sorry, you need a movie on politics? Yeah, okay.
Sex.
What am I supposed to say?
बोलना ये करना थोड़ा ही
I think let's reset our standards of morality, taking the youth into account. We are very traditional, and it's a society that doesn't even like to talk about sex. Every column I wrote, let's talk about sex. I was just saying, if we don't talk about issues relating to sex openly, we will never be able to make good laws for rape or consent laws. And that was a whole article was on that. And the comments are like, the people like, Chetan is promoting sex, huh? Hey, my best friend met me for lunch that day. Or, kya, you want people to have more sex? I think I am writing, please, let's talk about these issues. आप सेक्स को प्रमोट कर रहे हो. मैं प्रमोट कर रहा हूँ. वैसे कम हो रहा है जब मैं प्रमोट कर रहा हूँ.
Value system.
Most important in a society without values is bound to destroy itself, and we don't have Indian values. Like I said, we don't have Indian values for where we stand on sex, where we stand on women's rights. We don't know on corruption where we stand, what is correct. So that a lot of the problems are coming because there is no common values we have.
Finally, Amish Tripathi.
Budding writer. I think it's budding writer. I think it's vulgar to talk about money in public because that's not why I started writing. If I wanted to write, I wanted to make money, then I was working in the bank. And I will not, it's vulgar to make comparisons between writers as if we are marathon runners or it's a tennis players, who's number 1, who's number 2. It's not that. It's not competitive like that. Amish is doing a great job. When his first book came out, I went for his book launch. He called me. I went for Immortals. And I think, I don't know who's doing these kind of things. It's a new one. Jiski bhi book aati hai, sabko kehte hai, he's coming to upseat. There is no throne. There is nothing. We are just, if he's telling good stories, I'm telling good stories, and I think that's fine. In certain fields, there is competition. If we were both running 100-meter hurdles, then yes, you can do. Or if there are many others. But let's not get carried away. Let's stick to what riders are supposed to do. Don't make them into runners, because we are very bad runners.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause for Chetan Bhagat.
Request Mr. Bhagat to please come on stage. A small token of appreciation to Chetan Bhagat, and can we please have another round of applause and a huge cheer. You've all had a great time, and